Dr. Sulin Hall, author and Black female urologist and integrative medicine expert, shattered toxic ceilings in medicine, moving beyond the status quo. Her upcoming book, Getting Ahead, promises to spark curiosity and deepen our understanding of sexual anatomy while exploring the art of conscious connection.
I'm Dr. Sulin Hall. My book is How to Get Ahead. Um, it's my anatomical secrets about intimacy and sexual pleasure from the lips of a urologist. And I think that the book has gone from just anatomy and physiology into getting to a higher level of connection and bonding.
So, in your opinion, Dr. Hall, what's detracted from that genuine connection that we maybe even start out with as sensual beings on this planet in this universe? What are some of the things that sort of nibbled away at that in our society, in your opinion?
So traditional medicine is very important and very good and necessary for most people who get cancer or who get traumas to be able to physically heal. However, we don't do enough about nutrition, about preventative health in our traditional medicine. I went to integrative route on functional medicine to learn about nutrition. I did 3 years learning a master's program, training to learn more about what can we do to make ourselves healthy so we don't need to have treatment for cancer. How can we make our nutrition better so that we can do things to prevent getting breast cancer? A lot of people don't even realize that there are things that you can do to help your body methylate, which means, you may need B vitamins, you may need omega-3s, you may need glutathione or improve your NADH to help you reduce your cancer risk. Because the cancer risk is out there because of our environment, pesticide exposure, what's in our water, what's in our food that has created inflammation in our bodies. And then the functional medicine part, which is what I practice at Quantum Health and Wellness Center, to educate people about what are the nutrients that they need to be taking in to improve their health, like how vitamin D prevents colds and flus, or how improving their B vitamins can help prevent migraines, or improving magnesium in your tissues dilates the blood vessels, helps you sleep well. Improving, say, ashwagandha, which is a natural herb in Tibet that helps with reducing cortisol. And we're exposed to so many of these things that traditional medicine just treats the cancer, where integrative and functional medicine helps you educate to prevent getting cancer. As my book goes into a lot of erectile dysfunction, which, it's an amazing that 20s and 30-year-olds are having erectile dysfunction at this time, where this used to be an old man's disease. And the reason is because of all the males' false expectations on social media platforms like OnlyFans, just to name an example, where men meet false expectations of their mate they're going to meet. And so they're seeing all these beautiful pictures of all these beautiful women. And then when they meet somebody and they're not quite at that expectation, then they get disappointed. And so a lot of these young men are having ED. And if you see online lately, there's so many ED meds. There's so much about testosterone. And this is rampant on TV, but it's an actual problem. I see so many young men having erectile dysfunction for many reasons, anxiety from overexposure, or because 50% of ED is mental. And then cortisol, which is the stress hormone, the only hormone that increases with age, steals testosterone. So I'll see 20-year-olds having low testosterone. A lot of this pressure has created a lot of false uh, medical problem for young men that they need to get beyond. And that also transforms to food. I'll get into that a little bit later, but
I want
it's
to
a
know,
real,
I want to know about the food right now. I mean, it's a
okay.
startling statistic, you know,
Yes.
it's really troubling. And I think there are more elements, food and water and what's in our air and what we've taken in into our bodies and instant gratification and instant fix through traditional medicines. How are you addressing this in your practice and in the book? And what do you have to say for those 20 and 30-year-olds out there now?
Vascular erectile dysfunction is a real thing, and it actually stems a lot from what we're exposed to in our diet. There's a lot of high fructose corn syrup in our foods, lots of preservatives in our food. There's a whole toxic system of food supply, whether it's in our soil, whether it's in the chemicals that are on our food, or highly processed foods that's creating vascular problems. Where we'll see, I have a patient who in his early 30s came to me for erectile dysfunction and said, "Oh, I just want Viagra." Well, I told him that at 30, that was a little early because his testosterone and some other things were all normal. And so I said, "We have to have you see the cardiologist before I would start you on ED meds." And he was annoyed. "I didn't come to you for this. I don't want to see the cardiologist." Anyway, I convinced him. He had 90% occlusion of his LAD, which means his main vessel to his heart, and literally saved his life by sending him to the cardiologist and not just giving him ED meds. Because our diet is so filled with all this stuff, it causes deposition of sugars or high fructose corn syrup within the walls of the blood vessels. And so instead of the blood vessels being able to expand and contract, they become rigid and creating a whole nother problem for causing ED, because the vessels in the penis are smaller than the vessels in the heart. So they'll get clogged first. So if somebody presents with ED, they may have early vascular disease. And this stems from our exposure to terrible food, And so vascular disease can be the first sign of ED, but also the first sign of coronary artery disease, and stems drastically from what we're exposed to in our diet. And men's health is sexual health. So when we see sexual health being affected, it also affects their physical and mental health.
And then is there also another complication that comes in emotionally? Because, though we've tried to train ourselves away from it, a lot of girls today are still brought up that the guy is going to take care of me and he's going to be my prince. And, all I have to do is serve him. And then it becomes too much to bear because they aren't being authentic. They don't feel the privilege of or the safety of having true intimacy within the partnership because it's not what we've been sort of trained in. We've sort of been trained out of that system. Can you talk a little bit about that, and do you address that in the book?
Yes, actually, there's a big section in my book that actually really speaks about how uh, giving is so much better than receiving, and that sharing and caring with our partners are so essential to our mental and physical health. When men are expected to do certain things, and then they think women are expected, but women don't find the joy in it. The key is the joy in giving that can bring you to a whole higher level of intimacy that you never thought you could receive. And that's by sharing a love and connection with that partner. A job, low job is not a job. It is a part of sharing with your partner something very close and intimate that can take both to a higher level. That some people are thinking, well, I deserve this or you deserve this, but it's so important to be able to share together all of that for the intimacy to reach a different plane and a higher level of, even on a spiritual level of intimacy, where when you're giving, you're actually sharing with your partner, not just a job or physical, but an emotional level that can make them feel healthier and stronger and more cared for than just doing something, you know.
So you
And
have a healthy marriage yourself of over 30 years and you sound it's blissful, and honestly it's quite rare in this country these days. But you obviously have a healthy, happy sexual life. Was that innate in your being? Did that come from your background as a physician? What is that for you?
interesting that you asked that. I didn't think of it that way, but as a physician, caring for others, that's an important part, yes. Giving of myself to my partner, taking that partner to a whole nother level of being and caring is also nurturing for myself. And in the physical aspect, giving or sharing of myself with my husband for 30 years has enticed both of us to reach to a higher level together, not just on a medical aspect, but on a personal and emotional aspect. We are bound or bonded in a different level, not just physical or emotional, but also on a spiritual level as well.
Take me back to your decision to become a urologist because I mean, what, it's like 1 in 50 are actually female. There's a lot of OBGYNs out there that are male, but talk a little bit about what that was like for you in the decision making, and then once you made that decision, how were you looked upon by the outside world and the inner world of urology?
Mentor when I was in medical school was a urologist, and he was the head of urology, and I really enjoyed shadowing him and learn about how the medical and surgical aspect of this field, which I didn't even know there was such a field at the time, how it worked. And I loved dissecting the body and anatomy. And then I loved doing general surgery, but I didn't want to just work on guts. And so I went to my dean and I said, "Hey, I'm interested in this urology field." And he said, "It's a male-dominated field. You're a Black female, you should think about something else." There I was sold because now you gave me the challenge, and now I really want to do this urology thing. And I actually called some female urologists. We're only one of 50 in the country back then. It's probably one in 150 now. There are a lot more of us, but still less than 2% of urologists because 10,000 urologists and only 150 are women. So still a very small sector. So I reached out and she goes, "Do what you want. It's a great field. Do not listen to this person." And so I applied to like 25 schools, got my fourth choice. And the funny thing is, when this dean got prostate cancer, I was the surgeon on, which is very rare, to be on duty for his surgery. And everything went out perfectly. No incontinence, no erectile dysfunction. It probably was one of the best surgeries I've ever done. But that proved to me, and we never said anything to each other. So that proved to me that it was something I really wanted to do. I really wanted to be uh, go setter of new things, right? Go-getter of things that were challenging, and I enjoyed urology, and I really enjoy caring for patients, and I see pediatrics and women and men. In a whole spectrum because I was in a small town practicing in private practice, so it wasn't so specialized as in big cities are. So really got to experience and enjoy urology on a wide spectrum of the field itself. So very interesting story though that you asked. Unique, but I met my husband in medical school in New York and wouldn't have met him if I stayed in Miami. So also things came together just perfectly.
You push through. You always push through and you break the barriers. It's astounding,
Yeah.
Dr. Hall. So, and this is another breakthrough barrier because there aren't many physicians, urologists writing the kind of book you've written. So, having written it now and having gone through that experience of writing it, what surprised you?
But I thought it was very important for people to learn about male anatomy and learn about the physiology and learn about what makes men tick. And of course, I have a chapter on vagina and for men to learn about what women like as well and how both together are impacting.
And how has your journey, your own spiritual journey in expanding consciousness, how did you see that play out in the book? How do you see that resonate through the pages?
The interesting thing that I wrote about in regards to even say David Dita, who talks about delaying um, gratification or delaying ejaculation, say for men, to get this feeling up your spine to get to a higher level of consciousness that you can share with someone else. Similarly, it occurs for women in regards to being able to physically relax and expand and share different things with your being or your sexuality even as you age, into my 60s now. Very important to feel healthy internally as well as externally, because most of our well-being comes from internal, how we eat, how we respond to things, how we enjoy our work, how we enjoy our partners, how we enjoy the people we're around.
That's beautiful. So people that want to get the book, will it be available on Amazon and all the places?
Yes.
Okay.
It'll be on Amazon and probably an ebook as well. And hopefully people will enjoy it as much as I enjoyed writing it and getting this information out for people to enjoy. I think that's the key is what you get out of it. Not just to read, but to get to a higher plane yourself from learning the intricacies of the body, of the human body, the human experience, and then transform it into your life or experience at a better level.
And if people want to connect with you, Dr. Hall, do you have a website? Is there an email? How do they reach you?
So they can reach me at Quantum Health and Wellness Center, which is the business I started after going through my experience for not just a traditional physician, but integrative and functional medicine physician. And a lot of my patients there, I really decided to go into this form of medicine after three of my really good friends died from colon cancer. They're all physicians, a pediatrician, a urologist, and another pediatrician from different backgrounds that all got colon cancer and died before 45, that I knew we weren't doing enough in traditional medicine to help prevent these diseases. And I wanted to learn more about how to help people on a nutritional level, on a physical level, to be healthy. And to be healthy, that creates happiness as well. And so from Quantum Health and Wellness Center, we teach patients how to be nutritionally sound, how to regulate their hormones, and how to feel and keep up with their age on a healthy aspect. And to decrease pesticides and how to manage cortisol, because cortisol steals testosterone, it steals our hormones, and that's the only hormone that increases with age. And all the things we're exposed to, the social media platforms, the phone, having every access you have, we have to sometimes de-stress from that. And that's such an important component is to regulate cortisol to be able to feel good and to be healthy. This is what this book is to educate people about the anatomy. Where are the nerves? What feels good and why does it feel good? Why does the nerve along the prostate feel good? And why does the nerves to the clitoris for women feel good? Where does it run? Where's the G spot in women? Where's the stimulating spot in a man on the prostate? Why would somebody like anal intercourse and not? Why is the nerves good there? And that's kind of what I'm educating people to learn why certain things would feel good and what they would be comfortable with, learning about their bodies, learning about the penis, vagina, what is positive, what's negative, why do people have this shame about their body when all bodies are beautiful and at whatever shape or form, but you have to feel good in yourself to have somebody else appreciate how you feel. And that's an energy thing. When you have good energy, somebody can feel that energy and they just then want to be around you, even if you're heavy or thin or, it's a whole nother level of being that I think when we're shamed to feel sexy or to feel mentally sharp or physically fit, then we don't express ourselves well enough. And I think that the book is to help that, to teach you about the anatomy, physiology, the parts of the body for men and women. And if you've had trauma, how to transcend from that and how to feel emotionally, physically well being. And that's kind of the shame I want people to get past.